Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brenda Leads podcast. So today I have another new topic to share with you all today. So in today's topic and today's discussion, we are going to be talking about why do people always disrespect kind people? And that's something I have been wanting to know for a long time now, because I feel like so many people who have a good heart and that's so nice and kind and just good of a person on the inside from within gets treated very horribly. Like they get disrespected the most. They get disrespected the most. They get the most hate, the most nasty, you name it all. They get that treatment the most from people all the time. And it's really not fair to them, because they don't have to be so good of a person that they are to people if they're going to get the treatment that they get from people. But you have some people in the world that just don't care. They don't care how good a person is. They don't care how nice a person is. They treat people however they want to treat people, and they think it's supposed to be no consequences from it. But a lot of times it is. It's consequences for all actions that we make and do. And that's one thing we have to keep reminding ourselves about. I feel like a lot of people forget that, or they just don't care. They think I can just do whatever to anybody and I won't receive anything back from my behavior. But a lot of times that's not how that works. They do say karma comes in full force, and it comes in many different ways, and it happens in many different ways for everybody. So that's one thing to always be aware of and to keep in the back of your mind. Don't ever forget that. Okay, so we are going to be talking about that today. So some of the reasons why people might disrespect like people who are really kind, or just good people in general who treat people very good, is because they're perceiving kindness as weakness, which a lot of people probably do perceive people's kindness as weakness. Like people might think or assume that, oh, you're only being kind, or you're only being nice because of this and because of that. They make up their own assumptions and reasons to why they think you're so kind and why you are the way you are, or why you choose to be the way you choose to be towards people. Even though their reasonings and what they may think or come up with may not be correct or may not be true at all, sometimes people are just a good person and they want to treat others the same way, But you have a lot of people that will take that for granted. People will take that, stomp on that, and give you some bad behavior and energy back in return just from you being a nice, good person to them. And it makes you question them and their behavior, because it's like, I was so good to you. I was so nice to you. I was so kind. I was being so sweet, so generous, whatever you want to call it. And then you just stomp on it like that. Like you just stomp on my kindness and my good treatment and positive treatment and behavior that I give to you. A lot of times people don't have to get that treatment, or people don't have to give out that type of good energy and kindness if it's just going to get stepped on like that, or if they're just going to receive bad behavior back in return from people for just being a good person and trying to do the right thing. We're just trying to spread kindness to people, which we need more of. We need more people like that, and we don't have enough of that. There's a lot of hate in the world. There's a lot of jealousy in the world. There's a lot of negativity flowing all around and from people that people spawn on to other people, and then the cycle continues and goes on, and then it makes so many people negative and unhealthy, and leave people in unhealthy, headspaces and mindsets, which causes people most of the time to behave in ways that's not healthy, and to also treat people in ways that are not positive, or that are not, healthy or nice. Sometimes feeling threatened by someone who is genuinely good, projecting their own insecurities onto others, and having a distorted view of what assertiveness looks like, or simply not understanding the value of true kindness sometimes. And I do believe a lot of people don't understand the true value of kindness, or what it's like to even be a kind person, because there's a lot of people that are not a kind person. That's why a lot of the times when I'm kind and I'm nice and I'm sweet to people, a lot of times people treat me like crap because of it, or they treat me really nasty because of the good that I put out there in the open to other people, because they know they never can be me. They know they never can be as kind and as sweet and as nice as I am. That's why a lot of people say I'm too nice, but I don't take it as I'm too nice. I take it as I'm just a good person. And I believe in that when you're a good person and you have good energy, you should spread that and pass that on to other people as well. So that way we all can somewhat, maybe not all of us, but some of us can be kind people as well and spread the energy on to others, have it to be a thing that you pass on from one person to the next. Because I feel like if we all were nice people, we all had a kind heart, we all were sweet and nice, things in this world would be better, in my opinion. Regarding to people and how we treat each other and stuff, things will be a bit better. Relationships will be better. Certain bonds and connections with people will be stronger and would be healthier. It wouldn't be so distant. It wouldn't be so divided. Even with families and stuff too, it would just be a lot better than it is. And it's not like that because certain people who want to, change these things, or maybe certain people who have thought of changing these types of things, are not breaking the cycle of certain behaviors and actions. So the same things just keep happening and going on because there's no one really trying to do anything to change anything, And sometimes it can just be that one person or multiple people behind that one person that's all trying to make a change to something, but everybody don't be on the same page. Everybody don't be thinking the same type of stuff. So that's just how that is. Or simply not understanding the value of true kindness, which is very true. It can also stem from social norms that prioritize aggression or a tough demeanor over genuine compassion, which is also another true fact to that as well. Okay, so this is one of the things that I have brought up before that also involves with what I'm talking about, which is misinterpreting kindness as weakness, which is a big thing that a lot of people do all the time. People even do it to me. Some people might not see someone who is consistently kind as easily manipulated or not able to stand up for themselves, leading them to take advantage or treat them poorly. That's very true. Because a lot of times people think that when you're too kind or you're too nice, or you're just always nice all the time, that there's no side of you from the opposite that will be shown. But that's not true. Sometimes you have to push people to a certain point for them to show a different side of them. Or you have to push them to a certain point to kind of cause them to stop being nice or to stop being good of a person to you. Sometimes it just takes one little thing for somebody to just change or to just not do the usual that they normally do. Because it might be something that you might do to upset them or to make them up or to make them mad or to make them a little bit, disappointed with you, to where they kind of flip on you. And, you kind of see a side of them that you've never seen before, or a part of them comes out that never did before. But you never want to misinterpret anybody's kindness as weakness at all. Don't look at it as, they don't speak up. They don't, stand up for themselves. Or if you try to screw them over or do anything to them, you instantly think that they won't stand up for themselves or they won't defend themselves. Because that's not true, Just because somebody's really kind and really nice and they're really good of a person, even on the inside, and they're just good to people in general, does not always mean that they're just going to take any type of thing from you or any type of behavior from you and not, protect or defend themselves from whatever it is you're doing that they don't like. That's not true. But people make that assumption a lot because they think that when you're a nice person, that you'll just allow anybody to do whatever they want. And that's not true. And then a lot of the times it has a lot to do with personal insecurities as well. So individuals with low self-esteem may feel threatened by someone who is genuinely kind, projecting their own feelings onto the kind person, which a lot of them probably will do, because a lot of people have done it to me. So I definitely know what that's like. And I kind of brush it off because I know how to take on certain things that people try to throw at me to a certain point, especially when I know that on the inside and just me as a person, I'm good of a person. I'm too good of a person and I'm too nice to allow certain people to do certain things to me. So yeah, people can try to do that. So that's something to definitely be aware of. And social dynamics is a big thing too. In certain environments, being overly assertive or even aggressive, might be perceived as a sign of strength, leading some to disrespect those who are more gentle or corporative. Yeah, so that's also true as well. And then the lack of empathy. People who struggle with empathy may not understand the positive impact of kindness and might not value it as much. And a lot of them don't. A lot of people don't know what that is at all. They don't even know how to even be kind. They don't even know where to even begin at to even be a kind person. They don't know what being a kind person is like. You don't know what anything is like until you actually become that person and you start doing certain things that certain people actually do. Then you will know what it's like. But until then, you won't know. A person who's not kind is not going to know what it's like to be a kind person if they're not a kind person themselves. You don't know until you start becoming that way. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay. And then unrealistic expectations. So sometimes people might expect a kind person to be a pushover, leading them to test boundaries or act disrespectfully. And that is very true though. A lot of people do expect a kind person to be a pushover. Like they expect you to be a pushover. They expect for them to like get over you and all that other stuff. And it's not cool at all. Like you should never do that to anybody. But like I said, people take the good out of people and from people for granted, and they take that as a sign of weakness, and they think because you're too much of this or you're too much of that, they won't see no differently from that. And that's not true, because there's different parts to everybody. There's good parts to people and there's bad parts to people. There's a nasty part to people and there's a side that's not so nasty of people. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like I said, sometimes there's certain things that have to take people to a certain point for certain parts of them to come out, because you're not just gonna see it. It's not just going to be shown, but sometimes they have to take for something to happen for you to see certain parts of people, you know, for you to be like, oh, you know, they're not too nice of a person, or, you know, they're not as nice as I thought they were. Because like I said, there's different parts to everyone, regardless if they show it or not, you know. Don't just automatically make the assumption that just because a person is nice and they're kind and they choose to be positive and nice to everybody, that they're never differently than that. Because they could be and you don't even know, because they don't show it, you know. And a lot of people choose not to show it because they're too good of a person to show it, or maybe they just feel as though, you know, I'm too nice of a person to show that part of me, or they just don't want to because they may think it may make them look bad, you know. So some of the things that kind people can do is set boundaries, which is a very good one. You know, self-confidence, which is always a good one. Assertiveness, and then choose your company wisely. So pick and choose the people that you want to have around you, the people that you want to have in your circle. Don't just have anyone around you. Have people around you that's more so like you, because you'll be better off that way, rather than someone who's not as much as like you. Then it won't really go too well. I'm not saying that they have to be completely the same as you, but someone who kind of have the same type of energy that's like yours, that type of thing. And it also falls into peer pressure, and the desire to fit in can lead to unkind gestures towards nice people. If a social group collectively equates being kind with being weak, individuals might be rude to align with the group and secure a place within that group's social hierarchy. That's very true too. So you might hear me say the word weakness a lot, because that's what it really has a lot to do with, because a lot of people take certain parts and certain things from people and out of people for granted, and they look at that as they're weak, they're less than, you know. They kind of take that and like belittle people and try to make people feel less than what they are, and that's not okay at all. Like, that's not a good way to look at anything or anyone. But that's how a lot of things get perceived. That's how a lot of things get looked at. That's how a lot of people view certain stuff out of people and from people, is that, oh, when they do this or when they do that, or when they act a certain way like this or like that, that's a form or a sign of weakness. And it's not. I don't even know why people even use those type of wordings or terms when it comes to this stuff, because I feel like that's a form of disrespect. Because just because a person's really nice or really sweet, or they just have good energy, or they're just a good person, does not mean that they're weak, or does not mean that them being nice is a sign of weakness. They're being so nice and they're being so like this and so like that because they're a weak person, or they're not strong, or they can't handle anything, or they're hiding their own, you know, emotions from within. No, sometimes you just being kind and just being a good person and being a sweet person is just how you are. Sometimes that's just the energy that you carry. It doesn't have anything to do with weakness or being weak. I don't know why people even look at it that way. I don't like that we live in a world where a lot of things get perceived and looked at as weak, you know? There's better terms and wording to use rather than always saying weak. I really don't like that word at all. It's disrespectful, and I feel like it really makes somebody feel useless. Like they're nothing, like they're a nobody, like they just can't handle nothing in life. It makes you feel like you're not a strong person at all, like you just can't take on anything. And that's not true, because there's a lot of people that can take on a lot of things. things that people might not even, be aware of or even know. But I don't think that that's the proper terms or wording to use, is to be like, oh, it's weakness. It's a form of weakness. It's their way of hiding their weakness. No, it's not. It has nothing to do with hiding weakness. Most of the time, it might not even be weakness there. That's just, their kindness is just their way of showing who they are. Or for a lot of people, it can just be a part of their personality, or it's just in them as a person to be nice. But I think a lot of people who judge people that are nice are the ones who are actually not nice and the ones who are actually not kind. So they'll rather judge the ones who are and look at it as a bad thing, when it's a great thing that they're kind and that they're a good person. We need more people in the world like that because there's not enough of them, I'm just stating a point. But I would never look at a kind person or a person that's really nice or that's really good to people as a bad person, or as a person that's hiding their emotions, or a person that's weak. No, they're none of those things. It takes a lot for a person to be really kind and to be nice. It really does. And there's a lot of people that are not like that. There's a lot of people who choose not to be that way. So be appreciative of the ones that are like that, because just remember, they don't have to be. People can flip-flop and change any minute, any day, like a light switch. They could choose to be nice or they could choose to not be nice, but it's better to be a nice person. You'll feel a lot better within yourself, and you'll feel a lot better within the people around you, within the space you're in, when you carry a certain type of energy. But not just a certain type of energy, but a good, positive energy. Because there's a lot of people in the world that don't carry good energy at all. So we need more of people who carry good energy, if that makes sense. And like I said, I feel like it's a lot of people who are really nice and kind in the world that gets the most disrespect from people all the time, because of the good person that they are, because of how nice and kind they are. Because the ones who judge them for being nice and kind are the ones who can never be kind or be nice. So they'll rather judge the ones who are, because they know they are nothing like them. When people know that they are not like you, they can't be you, they can't act the way you act, they can't treat people the way you treat people, they can't be the way you are overall, they will find any way to judge you and criticize you on every single thing, and on maybe even little things too, and just for the way you are, how you do things, how you treat people. And you might think to yourself, why are they judging me over the littlest things I do? Like, what's the big deal? Because a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like that some people are so nice. A lot of people don't like that some people are so kind. A lot of people don't like that some people are so sweet, or some people are so friendly. A lot of people do not like that. And it always be the ones who are the most evil, nasty, disrespectful, rude people that be the ones that don't like the ones that are actually nice, that are trying to make change for the better in the world, that want to actually be a good person and treat other people good as well, and that want to see the good for other people as well, that be the ones hating on those types of people. It's always the ones who are doing bad in life that are hating on the ones who are doing good in life. That's all what it is. It has nothing to do with looking at somebody's kindness as weakness, or looking at it in any form or way you want to. It's the fact that some people don't like to see the good energy that some people carry, because they don't have that energy within themselves. That's all what it is. And I've seen it so many times to know that that's what it is. That's why a lot of people say a lot of mean stuff they say to me or have said to me, because they don't like the fact that I carry such a good energy. They don't like the fact that I carry such a good vibe. They don't like the fact that I have such a good vibe and a positive vibe to myself. They don't like the fact that I be within my own energy, my own peace. Some people don't like that. Some people see that and it bothers them. So they try to get in between that and disturb that and destroy that. It bothers some people when you're like that. It bothers some people when you're a good person that carry so much good energy with you. Some people don't like people with so much good energy. And when they do encounter you with all that good energy you have, they try to destroy that. They try to send something your way to destroy that. And I'm going to tell you right now, every time they try to do that, it's never going to work. I'm telling you that right now. I know there's more people in the world with bad energy than good energy, but one thing I know is that when somebody with bad energy comes my way, try to destroy me or take what I have, it's never going to work. You're never going to tear me down. I'm going to tear that person with the bad energy down. That's how that's going to go. I'm going to tear them down with all the goodness and the positivity I have in me as a person, because I've worked on that with myself. I've built that within myself for me to have, because I know I want to be more of a positive person, because I know I want to be kind. I want to be nice to people. I want to treat people the way I want to be treated. The same way how I want to be treated is the same way how I'm going to treat other people, unless they treat me in another way otherwise that will make me not do that. But in general, I'm going to treat people the way I want to be treated, and that's just that. I have no reason to treat nobody no differently or to treat them in any type of way for no reason. I'm not going to do that because it's not in me to do that. I'm too nice to do that. I'm too nice to even come out my way to treat someone like that, or to treat someone, badly or nasty for no reason. Certain things is just not in certain people to do. And that's a good thing, because it shows and tells more about you as a person than it do them. And it tells good things about you. And you are the bigger person when you choose to do better things, but not just better things, but when you choose to go about things in a more positive way rather than a negative way. Because anybody can be mean, anybody can be rude, but it's all about how you choose to be as a person. It's not about what you can do, what you can't do. There's a lot of things that a lot of us can do. There's a lot of ways that a lot of us can be, but it's all about if you choose to be that way. That's what I want you guys to understand. There's a certain way that people gotta be. There's a certain way people gotta act. There's a certain way people gotta treat people. But people gotta treat people better than they do. People gotta treat people nicer than they do, in a more positive way. Less negative, more positive. Okay? But yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. A lot of stuff I'm speaking on based off of experience, because a lot of the stuff I've been through, I came across all different types of people. People that were rude, people that were mean, people that showed me who they truly are on the inside. Not just the outside from their facial expressions and how they looked at me, but just who they are as a person. And I've come to realize that a lot of people in the world, and even people who I come across on a daily or when I'm out somewhere, are not all good people. So they're not all bad people, but they're not all good people. And they're not people that I'm going to say that loves me, that supports me, that likes the person I am, or that likes, how I am as a person, because there might be a lot of people that don't. But at the end of the day, I don't care, because I don't know people and people don't know me. So I don't care what their opinion is about me, because they don't know me. You can't have an opinion on someone you don't know. But a lot of us have a tendency to have an opinion on a lot of people who we don't know. We make assumptions in our head and mind how we think people are, but we don't really know how people really are. Because like I said, there's different types of people in the world. There's different parts of people. There's different ways people go about acting and behaving. So we don't really know how anybody is. People can act one way when they're around you and act another way when they're not around you. You don't know that. You would have to see it for yourself to really believe it and just see it for what it is, and to see the person for what they are. But you don't really know it or believe it until you actually see it for yourself. I had to see a lot of people for myself to know how they truly were and how they really are as a person. I had to see the way how they really act and how they really behave and how they really talk, whether it's to other people or it's about me to other people. I had to see it all for myself throughout my experiences to really understand how people really are, and if they really are the type of person or people that I be thinking they are. And a lot of times they were not the way I was thinking that they were the opposite from that. So then my perspective and my thoughts and my opinions on them changed. I went from having positive thoughts about them to having negative thoughts about them. I once thought they were a good person, and now I think and believe that they're not a good person, because I've seen something within them that they've shown to me that made me realize that. Sometimes you see certain things in people and you just come to realize that their intentions for you is not good, and that they're just not a good person to have around you or to have in your circle. So that's why you have to be careful of all people you have around you. Don't just allow anybody around you, because that anybody you allow around you could be somebody who's trying to destroy you or that's just trying to look to see what you have that they can take from you. Or it can be somebody that's preying on your downfall, that's hating on your success. They just hate the fact that you're doing good in life. But like I said, it have to take for you to see it for yourself to believe it and understand it better. Otherwise, it's not going to make sense. And you're going to keep falling for the bull crap that people do to you and put you through until you start to see these people for who they really are. But you got to pay attention to people's actions. Because like they said, actions speak louder than words, and they do. And you have to always make sure you pay close attention to people's actions, because if you don't, you're not going to see what's there. You're not going to see what's coming. You're not going to be prepared for it. And that's one thing that you do want to be aware of. Don't be blinded by who people truly are, because it's going to come to show one of these days, and you're going to need to see it and know how to protect yourself from it and react to it. That's just something to keep in mind from today's episode. I hope you guys learned something, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.